Hi, I'm Jason with Green Country Agroforestry. That's the way I start most of my videos. Of course, my name is Jason. I live here in northeastern Oklahoma, and I live on a two-parcel piece of land. There's my mother-in-law's house immediately behind me, and of course our place is over here. Both lots put together amount to about 1/3 of an acre in total, including all the houses and outbuildings. There's a shed there, garage and carport, and another shed behind there, and a well house. Green Country is actually the invention of the Oklahoma Department of Tourism, and the region of land that it occupies is roughly from Interstate 40 north and from Interstate 35 east, so the northeastern corner of Oklahoma. This corresponds with the territory that was once held by the Osage Nation until the U.S. federal government convinced them to give it up to create a buffer zone between the early United States and the indigenous tribes to the west. Agroforestry is an agricultural practice to take perennial plants like these hazelnut trees here and these perennial Egyptian walking onions that I've got in the foreground, and planting those in combination with annual crops like this garlic here. As of right now, there's around 7.8 billion people on planet Earth. And according to some projections, that population may increase to as much as 10 billion by 2050. Unfortunately, also according to some projections, the ability to produce food for that many people will peter out somewhere between 8 and 9 billion people. Of course, science and technology has always come along for us in the past and provided a new technique, a new method, a new chemical, or a new way of engineering a crop so that we can make sure that everybody stays fit. The question is, what is the science and technology that's going to save us this time? About 1/3 of all the land that is used on planet Earth today for agricultural purposes, about 1.5 billion hectares of it, is called arable land. That means that's land that can be readily put to the plow, farmed, and used to grow annual crops. Good, soft, hopefully more or less fertile land. The average food production from arable land is somewhere between 1/2 and 2 people per acre. So do the math. We're not getting all of our food from arable land. There's an awful lot of pasture land being used, an awful lot of food being harvested from rivers, lakes, and the oceans as well. A search to find the answer to how we're going to go about feeding this growing population of human beings on planet Earth has led me not to some new piece of technology, but actually something really quite old. See, long before the Europeans arrived here in North America, the indigenous peoples were farming. I know you thought they were hunter-gatherers, and you can be forgiven for making that mistake. What looked like gathering was in actuality a form of farming. You see behind me this pecan tree. This is the kind of tree that would have been planted by the Cahokia people that settled the Illinois River Valley and a large portion of the current United States, well, long before there was a United States. Pecan trees don't drop their nuts and have them carried a great distance by wildlife or by flooding. So the fact that the range of this tree happens to be everywhere a mound is built should tell you something. These were being planted and grown deliberately. It's really no wonder. A tree, much like this one, 20 to 30 years from now, will be producing up to 50,000 nuts a year. 10 nuts, one ordinary serving, is 196 calories. How much food can one tree produce? You do the math. Of course, it wasn't just the large trees either. The natives had smaller trees like these, the hazelnut, showing its catkins here in the fall, which could grow in the understory beneath the bigger trees. Now, a tree like this is going to produce enough food for about a month for one person. On the sunny peripheries, trees like this pear tree produce a lot of food as well. As a matter of fact, if one were to only plant trees like this pecan tree at a density of 12 trees per acre, one could expect to get enough food for 12 people per acre per year from orchards growing just this one tree. But it's not just this one tree. I planted sweet potatoes around the base of this pecan tree this past year. The largest plant that I pulled up had about 9 pounds of sweet potatoes on it, and that's one planting for every square foot. So once again, do the math. The vines go up into the trees, the roots grow into the ground, you harvest once a year, and that's a lot of food, folks. Converting just the arable portion of the land, 1.5 billion hectares, multiply that by 2.47 to get your acreage. In perennial systems, just like these daylilies, pecan trees, hazelnut trees, whatever else happens to grow well in the area where you happen to be living, one can easily see feeding 12 people per acre. And you can do this year in and year out without the need to import extra fertilizers or additional organic matter. This is a problem that modern farming has. If you're following along with your calculators, that's 44 billion people just on the arable land that the planet has to offer. So why, you might ask, would the people that have an already superior means of producing food for themselves give that up and adopt a system of farming that is inherently inferior? I'd have to say it's probably in the money, because although growing pecans, chestnuts, walnuts, and hazelnuts, blueberries, blackberries, persimmons, cherries, and any other number of perennial foods does provide you with a good, strong, solid food base, cotton and tobacco make the gold. Seasonal annual crops are easy. You move into an area, you rip the cover off the ground, you throw some seeds down, and then you make sure that you don't have competing weeds, and you have to spray with insecticides to kill off the insects that are going to move in to try to gobble up all those tender young annual crops that wouldn't be able to survive on their own. But whenever you're done, after one season, you produce a harvest that you can sell and you get lots of money for it. And who doesn't like money? Unfortunately, you wind up paying for it on the back end with lost soil fertility, lost soil, and decreasing returns, diminishing returns from your investment. Oh, and I mentioned you don't feed as many people. And so while the central planners are scheming to take humanity and round them up and herd them into little tiny plots of land in the cities and feed them through, I don't know what kind of sorcery they're planning, here at Green Country Agroforestry, we're looking for other ways. Better ways. Ways that preserve human dignity and freedom. And in a nutshell, that's what Green Country Agroforestry is all about. It's my tip. Well, as you can see, I've got some more cleanup left to do from this previous year's growing season, so I'm going to get back to work. And as always, if you found this video informative or entertaining, please hit that like button. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, share this video, bang the notification bell, and good people, I will catch you in 2021 next time.